I hope you've got a comfy seat and a nice hot cuppa, because today's adventure has everything. Mountains taller than skyscrapers, bridges that wobble, parrots with criminal tendencies, and Sarah trying very hard to convince everyone she wasn't the one who packed too many snacks. So join us. Let's see what happens next. Good morning from Twizzle. Yesterday we crossed the golden tussock country of the Mackenzie Basin, drove over Lindis Pass, discovered towering clay cliffs, and finished beneath one of the clearest night skies anywhere on Earth. Today we're heading somewhere that's been on our bucket list for a very long time. Aoraki Mount Cook, the highest mountain in New Zealand. And if everything goes to plan, we're about to drive one of the most spectacular roads this country has to offer.
I woke up this morning, stepped outside Luna, and the first thing I noticed was how unbelievably quiet it was. No traffic, no city noise, just crisp winter air, birds singing somewhere in the distance, and mountains waiting for the sun. Honestly, if mornings always looked like this, I'd probably become a morning person. Probably. But let's not get carried away.
Before we hit the road, we're doing our usual winter routine. Luna, our incredible Pegasus Adventures camper van, gets a quick check over. Windows clear, tires looking good, water levels checked, everything inside secured, and because we're heading into Alpine country, we're checking the latest weather and road conditions one more time.
One thing we've learned traveling around New Zealand is that mountain weather likes keeping people humble. The forecast can say sunshine. The mountains sometimes have other ideas. So warm jackets, good hiking boots, gloves, and enough snacks to keep Joe cheerful. That last one is surprisingly important.
It's called preparation.
It's called carrying emergency biscuits.
As we leave Twizzle behind, we're traveling west along State Highway 80. The road is only around 60 kilometers long. But don't let the distance fool you. This is one of the most photographed drives in New Zealand. Every few minutes the scenery changes. Golden tussock grasslands stretch across the Mackenzie Basin. Snow-covered mountains rise higher with every kilometer. And somewhere ahead of us, Aoraki is waiting.
The Mackenzie Basin doesn't really look like anywhere else we've visited. It feels bigger, more open, almost like somebody gave the landscape permission to breathe. The colors are incredible. Golden grasses, white mountain peaks, deep blue skies, and every now and then, little pockets of frost still sparkling beside the road.
These vast grasslands have been shaped over thousands of years. During the last ice age, enormous glaciers carved through this region, scraping away rock and leaving behind the broad valleys we see today. When those glaciers eventually retreated, they left an entirely different landscape behind, one that's still changing, even now.
That's something I love about New Zealand. The scenery isn't just beautiful, it's telling a story. Every mountain, every valley, every lake. Something happened here long before we arrived.
And then, around one gentle bend, it appears. Lake Pukaki. I've seen photographs, I've watched documentaries, I've heard people say it doesn't even look real. Now I understand exactly what they meant.
Joe, this color can't possibly be natural. Seriously, somebody check. I think New Zealand accidentally turned the saturation up.
It really is natural. The incredible turquoise color comes from something called glacial rock flour. As glaciers slowly grind against the mountains above us, they crush solid rock into incredibly fine particles. Those tiny mineral particles are carried into the lake by meltwater. When sunlight hits them, they scatter blue and green wavelengths, creating this extraordinary color.
So the lake is basically wearing glacier glitter. Nature has excellent taste.
Lake Pukaki is one of 3 major glacial lakes in the Mackenzie Basin. It's approximately 15 kilometers long, stores vast amounts of fresh water, and also plays an important role in New Zealand's hydroelectric power system. But honestly, standing here, you're not thinking about engineering. You're just trying to convince yourself this color is real.
I've officially stopped pretending I'm taking just one more photo. We're well past that stage.
Not far along the road, we arrive at one of the most famous viewpoints in New Zealand, Peter's Lookout. And this is the photograph everyone hopes for. Lake Pukaki stretching into the distance, Aoraki standing proudly beyond, the Southern Alps framing the entire scene. It's one of those rare places where the real view somehow looks even better than the postcards.
I don't think I've ever said wow this many times in one morning. Every direction feels impossible. The mountains seem close enough to touch. The lake almost glows beneath them. And because it's winter, the snow adds another layer of magic.
On calm mornings, something remarkable happens here. The lake becomes almost perfectly still, and the mountains reflect across the surface like a giant mirror. It's one of the most sought-after landscape photographs in New Zealand. Professional photographers often arrive before sunrise, waiting patiently for the perfect conditions.
Meanwhile, I'm over here trying not to breathe too hard in case I ruin the reflection.
One thing many visitors don't realize is just how enormous the Southern Alps really are. This mountain range stretches for around 500 kilometers along the South Island. It contains hundreds of glaciers, towering peaks, and forms the backbone of New Zealand's alpine landscape.
Which explains why every photo I take somehow still doesn't capture how big everything feels. Some places simply refuse to fit inside a camera.
Leaving Peter's Lookout behind, we continue following Lake Pukaki, and somehow, the scenery keeps improving. Every few kilometers, there's another safe place to pull over, another angle, another incredible photograph waiting.
I think this road has a secret competition going on. Every viewpoint is trying to outdo the last one, and honestly, nobody's losing.
As Aoraki slowly grows larger ahead of us, you begin to appreciate why this road consistently ranks among the world's great scenic drives. You're not rushing toward the destination. You're enjoying every single kilometer getting there.
Even Luna seems happy. She gets to cruise along smooth roads with snow-covered mountains in front and a turquoise lake beside us. If campervans could smile, I'm pretty sure ours would.
Our next stop is Glen Tanner, a family-owned high country station that has welcomed travelers to this remarkable landscape for generations. It's also one of the last major stops before reaching Mount Cook Village.
If you've ever wanted to enjoy a really good coffee while staring directly at New Zealand's highest mountain, this might be your place.
Glen Tanner sits beside Lake Pukaki, surrounded by working farmland, alpine scenery, and some of the country's most spectacular views. Merino sheep graze these hills, just as they have for decades. Their incredibly soft wool is famous around the world.
They're also incredibly photogenic, unlike Joe, who somehow manages to blink every time I press the camera button.
It's called artistic timing.
It's called unfortunate timing.
Before continuing, we warm up with a coffee at the Tasman Delta Cafe, one of those places where it's very easy to sit a little longer than planned. Outside, the mountains dominate the horizon. Inside, it's warm, friendly, and exactly the kind of stop you appreciate on a crisp winter's day.
I'm beginning to notice a pattern. Every stop today has incredible views, excellent coffee, and another excuse for Joe to take 37 more photographs.
38. I took one while you were talking. As we leave Glen Tanner behind, the road begins to feel different. Not because it changes, but because the mountain ahead keeps getting bigger. No matter how many photographs you've seen, nothing prepares you for seeing Aoraki in person. Every kilometer feels like the mountain is quietly stepping closer to welcome you.
It's funny. Normally, when you drive towards a mountain, it slowly gets bigger. Aoraki doesn't do that. It somehow fills your entire windscreen before you even realize what's happened. One moment it's sitting on the horizon, the next, it feels like it's introducing itself personally.
Standing 3,724 meters above sea level, Aoraki is New Zealand's highest mountain, although that's actually a little shorter than it used to be. In December 1991, a massive rock and ice avalanche collapsed from the summit. The mountain became about 10 meters lower, settling at the height we know today. Even mountains continue changing.
Imagine explaining that to someone. So, what happened to New Zealand's tallest mountain? Oh, part of it fell off. Nature has a very dramatic way of redecorating.
We arrive in Aoraki/Mount Cook Village. It's surprisingly small. There are no shopping malls, no busy main streets, no traffic lights, just a peaceful alpine village surrounded by some of the tallest mountains in the southern hemisphere.
Honestly, I love that. The mountain is the attraction. Everything else quietly supports it. It's almost as if the village knows exactly who the real celebrity is.
The national park surrounding us was officially established in 1953. Today, it's recognized as part of Te Wahipunamu, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Almost 40% of the park is still covered by permanent glaciers. That's incredibly rare.
And somehow you can actually feel that. The air is colder, the rivers are brighter, everything looks younger, even though these mountains have been forming for millions of years.
Before we head onto the trails, we make one important stop, the Sir Edmund Hillary Alpine Centre. For anyone interested in mountains, exploration, or New Zealand history, this place is well worth visiting.
Walking through the exhibits, you quickly realize Sir Edmund Hillary wasn't just someone who climbed Mount Everest. He was an explorer, a humanitarian, a beekeeper, and someone who never stopped looking for the next challenge.
Long before Everest made him famous, Sir Edmund spent years training right here. These mountains became his classroom. The snow, the ice, the glaciers, the unpredictable weather, everything he learned here helped prepare him for one of history's greatest climbing achievements.
Looking out the window, you suddenly understand why. If you can learn to climb here, you're learning from some of the best teachers on Earth. What a day already! We've driven one of the most spectacular roads in New Zealand, stood beside the unbelievable turquoise waters of Lake Pukaki, captured views from Peter's Lookout that almost don't seem real, shared a coffee beneath New Zealand's highest mountain, and discovered how Aoraki inspired one of the world's greatest explorers. But believe me, the biggest adventure is still waiting, because next time, we're leaving Luna behind, walking one of New Zealand's most famous alpine tracks, crossing 3 swinging bridges, standing beside floating icebergs, meeting one very cheeky alpine parrot, and discovering New Zealand's largest glacier. Sometimes, the journey to a destination is every bit as unforgettable as the destination itself. Last time, Luna brought us along one of the most beautiful roads in New Zealand. We explored the brilliant turquoise waters of Lake Pukaki, stopped at Peter's Lookout, and arrived beneath Aoraki, New Zealand's highest mountain. But today, the real adventure begins. We're leaving Luna safely behind, walking one of New Zealand's most famous alpine tracks, crossing 3 swinging bridges, standing beside floating icebergs, meeting one very cheeky alpine parrot, and discovering New Zealand's largest glacier. Let's continue the adventure. The Hooker Valley Track is one of New Zealand's best loved day walks, around 10 kilometers return, mostly easy walking, and every step offers another spectacular view. The track follows the Hooker River deep into Aoraki/Mount Cook National Park. Surrounded by snow-covered peaks, glacial rivers, and towering cliffs, it's one of those walks where you're constantly stopping, not because you're tired, but because the scenery keeps stealing your attention.
Although, stopping because you're tired is also perfectly acceptable.
One of the highlights of this walk is crossing 3 impressive suspension bridges. Each one gently sways as you cross. Below, the icy blue Hooker River rushes through the valley. The further we walk, the bigger the mountains become. And somehow, the scenery just keeps getting better.
Whoever invented suspension bridges clearly had a very good sense of humor.
Or excellent balance. Although these mountains appear timeless, they're constantly changing. Glaciers slowly grind their way through the valleys. Rocks tumble from steep cliffs. Avalanches reshape mountain slopes every winter. Even the rivers constantly move huge amounts of rock downstream. Here, nature is never standing still. It's quietly rebuilding the landscape every single day. Finally, we arrive at Hooker Lake. Floating quietly across the water are small icebergs that have broken away from Hooker Glacier. Even during summer, ice can often be seen drifting across the lake. Standing here beneath Aoraki, the scale is almost impossible to describe. Everything feels bigger, quieter, more powerful. This is one of those places photographs simply can't fully capture.
I suddenly understand why everyone recommends this walk.
Some places really do live up to the hype. Just a short drive away lies another remarkable sight, Tasman Glacier, stretching around 23 kilometers. It is New Zealand's largest glacier. Like many glaciers around the world, it has been gradually retreating over recent decades. As the ice melts, a growing glacial lake has formed at its base. Large chunks of ice occasionally break away into the lake, creating one of New Zealand's few places where visitors can see floating glacier ice up close. It's a powerful reminder that these landscapes continue evolving. Before we head back, there's one local resident we hope to meet, the Kea, the world's only alpine parrot, famous for being incredibly intelligent and incredibly curious. Kea have learned that parked cars often contain interesting surprises, which explains why they occasionally investigate windscreen wipers, rubber seals, roof racks, and almost anything else they can reach. They're fascinating birds, but they're also protected wildlife. So admire them from a respectful distance, and definitely don't feed them.
He's looking at Luna.
He's planning something. Sure enough, one particularly curious Kea decides Luna deserves a closer inspection. Mirror, tick, roof rack, tick, windshield wiper. Definitely interesting. Fortunately, we arrive before any permanent modifications are made.
I'm pretty sure he was about to steal the aerial.
Or invoice us for his inspection. We begin the drive back. The mountains slowly disappear in the mirrors. It's amazing how quickly the landscape changes, yet somehow, the memories stay exactly where they belong. Sometimes, the greatest adventures aren't measured by how far you travel, they're measured by how deeply a place stays with you. Today reminded us just how extraordinary New Zealand really is, from crossing swinging bridges, to standing beside floating glacier ice, meeting the world's only alpine parrot, and walking beneath the country's highest mountain. Every moment felt like another reminder of just how powerful nature can be. Aoraki isn't simply New Zealand's tallest peak. It's a place that inspires explorers, photographers, walkers, and dreamers from all around the world. And honestly, I think we'll be talking about today for a very long time. Every journey has a turning point, a moment when the scenery begins to change, the roads feel different, and you realize a whole new adventure is about to begin. Today, Luna is taking us from New Zealand's spectacular alpine heartland towards the Canterbury coast. We'll discover one of the world's best places to look at the stars, visit a tiny stone church with one of the most beautiful views anywhere in the country, meet some very hardworking four-legged heroes, sample delicious local flavors, and finish the day beside the Pacific Ocean, thinking caps on because today is full of surprises. Leaving Twizzle behind, we're briefly retracing part of yesterday's journey before turning towards Lake Tekapo. Sometimes, road trips mean traveling a familiar road. But here's the funny thing, the same road rarely looks the same twice. This morning, the mountains seem brighter, the lakes sparkle differently, and Luna somehow makes every kilometer feel like a brand new adventure.
I still think Luna secretly enjoys mountain roads.
She certainly seems happier than we are before the first cup of coffee. Soon, the brilliant blue waters of Lake Tekapo come into view. Unlike the dramatic wilderness of Lake Pukaki, Lake Tekapo feels peaceful and welcoming, almost as though the village has grown naturally around the lake instead of beside it. Only around 500 people call this little village home, yet visitors travel from all over the world to experience its incredible beauty. Whether you're enjoying a quiet lakeside walk, kayaking across the calm water, or simply sitting on a bench watching the clouds drift by, Lake Tekapo has a wonderful way of encouraging you to slow down. Sometimes that's exactly what we all need. Standing quietly beside the lake is one of New Zealand's most photographed churches, the Church of the Good Shepherd. Built in 1935 using local stone, it was created as a memorial to the pioneering families who settled this rugged, high country region. But what makes this church truly special is what you won't find inside. Instead of colorful stained glass windows behind the altar, there's a single clear window, and through that window, the lake, the mountains, and the ever-changing New Zealand sky become part of the service itself. It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes the greatest artwork is simply the world around us.
Imagine having that as your Sunday view.
I'm not sure many churches could compete with that. Just a short walk away stands another local landmark, the famous Sheepdog Memorial. It honors the remarkable working dogs that helped build the Mackenzie country. Without these intelligent dogs, managing enormous sheep stations across mountains and valleys would have been almost impossible. They weren't simply pets, they were trusted working partners. Many farmers still rely on them today. Watching a skilled sheepdog at work is truly remarkable, sometimes responding to nothing more than a whistle or a quiet command.
He looks ready to round us up next.
Judging by our navigation skills, he might have his work cut out. One of the reasons Lake Tekapo is famous around the world isn't actually the lake, it's the sky above it. This region forms part of the Aoraki Mackenzie International Dark Sky Reserve, the largest dark sky reserve in the southern hemisphere because there is so little light pollution. The night sky here is extraordinary. On a clear evening, thousands of stars become visible. The Milky Way stretches overhead, and distant galaxies can even be seen through powerful telescopes at Mount John Observatory. It's one of the few places on Earth where darkness itself is carefully protected. Sometimes the greatest view isn't in front of you, it's above you. Leaving Lake Tekapo behind, the landscape begins changing once again. The golden tussock slowly gives way to greener farmland. Rolling hills replace rugged alpine peaks. And before long, we find ourselves surrounded by some of Canterbury's richest farming country. It's amazing how quickly New Zealand transforms. 1 hour, snow-capped mountains surround you. The next, you're driving through peaceful countryside that feels completely different.
I think New Zealand changes scenery faster than I change socks.
To be fair, that may not be setting the highest standard. Our next stop is the charming town of Geraldine, which is one of those places that immediately feels welcoming. Tree-lined streets, independent shops, friendly cafes, and a community that takes great pride in producing some of New Zealand's finest artisan foods. For a town of only a few thousand people, Geraldine has earned a remarkable reputation for craftsmanship. Whether it's handmade chocolates, locally produced preserves, or award-winning cheeses, quality always seems to come first here. Sometimes the smallest towns leave the biggest impression. No visit to Geraldine would be complete without stopping at one of its famous artisan cheese shops. New Zealand is known for producing excellent dairy products. But here, cheesemaking is treated almost like an art form. Using milk from cows, sheep, goats, and even deer, local cheesemakers create an incredible variety of flavors. Now comes the important part, the taste test.
This one smells interesting.
That's usually either a very good sign or a very dangerous one. Joe takes a bite, pauses thoughtfully, then smiles.
Yep, definitely worth stopping for.
So scientific research has officially been completed. Just a short drive from Geraldine lies Peel Forest Scenic Reserve. Stepping beneath the towering native trees feels like traveling back in time. Some of these giant podocarp trees have been growing here for hundreds of years, long before roads, cars, or even the first European settlers arrived. Then, as you hear native birds call from high above, the forest floor is covered in mosses and ferns, and every step feels wonderfully peaceful. This is one of the few remaining examples of the forests that once covered much of New Zealand. Walking here reminds us just how precious these ancient ecosystems really are.
It's amazingly quiet.
Sometimes nature doesn't need to shout to leave an impression. Our journey continues to the little farming town of Pleasant Point Home, to one of New Zealand's best preserved heritage railways. For many years, railways like this connected small rural communities across the country, carrying livestock, produce, mail, and families between towns. Today, volunteers keep that history alive, restoring steam engines, historic carriages, and even one of New Zealand's rare Model T Ford railcars. As the old locomotive whistles into life, it's impossible not to smile.
I think trains have a way of making everyone feel like a kid again.
Especially when they still puff real steam. By late afternoon, the mountains begin fading behind us, and something we haven't seen for several days comes back into view. The Pacific Ocean. Welcome to Timaru, a relaxed coastal city where life moves at a different pace. After days surrounded by alpine peaks, watching waves gently roll onto Caroline Bay feels almost surreal. Caroline Bay is one of New Zealand's favorite family beaches, with beautiful gardens, walking paths, playgrounds, and calm waters protected by the harbor. It's the perfect place to end today's journey.
This morning we were surrounded by mountains. Now we're standing beside the sea.
That's one of the things I love most about New Zealand. You never have to travel far to discover something completely different. Today has been a wonderful reminder that New Zealand is a country of incredible contrasts. We left behind snow-capped mountains and some of the darkest skies on Earth, visited a tiny church with one of the most beautiful views imaginable, met the hard-working sheepdogs that helped shape the Mackenzie country, sampled delicious local flavors, walked beneath ancient native trees, traveled back in time aboard a heritage railway, and finished beside the Pacific Ocean. Every kilometer revealed another story, another landscape, another reason to slow down and appreciate the journey. because sometimes the road between the famous destinations becomes the greatest adventure of all. Here's my travel tip after all these weeks on the road. Never believe Joe when he says, "This will only take 5 minutes." Somehow those 5 minutes always become another adventure. Look, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Marius and Wouter from Pegasus Adventures for trusting us with Luna. She's been an amazing home on wheels and the perfect travel companion. So if you like traveling with us, stay tuned. We'll see you every week right here on Sky 83. Until next time. Keep smiling, stay curious, and remember, the best adventures are often just around the next corner.